What's up, guys? Welcome to Sunday Signal episode 4. We're going to talk about the upcoming week, as far as recaps and what we're seeing in the market. Also, just want to go over a couple things with you guys as far as for the week, news coming up this week. And then I'm going to touch on a couple other stuff with you guys as well. But starting out for the week, guys, we have a little bit of news coming out this week. Not much as far as news coming out this week. On Monday, we have loan survey, factory orders. I don't see that as any high impact news for us. On Tuesday, we have ISM that's coming out. That will impact the market a little bit. You might see something move there. We have trade balances coming in. That might have an effect on the market. That's going to be at 8:30 on Tuesday. And that's it on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have the 10-year bond action. That might have some play on it, but that's not going to be till later on in the afternoon. As far as in the morning, we have nothing in the morning. So we should have a fairly decent morning. The only thing on Wednesdays that you have to see that's coming in, guys, is crude oil inventory, and that will affect the oil prices. So that you see the fluctuation between like XOM and stuff like that. That's where you will see the fluctuation. But apart from that, you won't see anything on Wednesday. On Thursday, we always have unemployment claims on Thursday. So that will have an effect on the market on Thursday. So what else on Thursday? I think I saw something else on Thursday. No, it was all GBP on Thursday. Um, on Thursday, yeah. And then on Thursday, we have bond auction on Thursday again. So that might have an effect on the market. We have natural gas coming in at Thursday. And then on Friday, nothing on Friday. So guys, on this whole week, I'm telling you right now, if we see a drop or a break to go lower, we might fall all week. But how the market is setting up, I'm gonna touch on certain things as far as how I see the market is setting up, and we could go either direction. But some of these stocks are gonna head down. This is not financial advice anyway. This is just my opinion. So with that said, guys, I go live every day in my Discord. We do live call outs and we trade live. Me and my wife. It's called Married to the Markets. We had great trades last week, as far as you could see. We had on Friday, we had some great trades. We did Tesla, and we did QQQ. As far as for QQQ, we took QQQ to the upside, wait on a reversal to come back on the upside. Did a couple great trades throughout the week. Great week overall, right? So if you want to jump into our Discord, link is going to be in the description. But also, it's called Married to the Market. Me and my wife trade again every single day. We welcome everyone. We welcome all married couples as well. That's what we do, right? But going into the trades and going into what we're seeing for this week, normally I go over three possible trades that you guys could look at for the week, and three trades that I'm gonna be looking at. There's a couple that I see, but let's go over the three, right? As far as the overall market, guys, we were at all-time highs, and I mentioned that, and we have that pullback. So if we take a look at, hold on, right here. So if we take a look at SPY, say for instance, on SPY, I said, listen, we're at all-time highs, and it's gonna take something for us to pull back. We went all the way up to all-time highs up here. Didn't hit 650 exactly, right? Which is gonna be that psych level, but we went to 640. 640 is a psych level as well, and we came right back down, right? But this happened because of news, okay? So now we started the month off with a gap down, okay? So this is the first of the month, and we started with a gap down on that month. Now, if you look at the monthly, we are at a support level, okay? We broke on the week, so we could see some consolidation next week and not much movement. We could stay within a range for next week and then build upon that to go into the third, or I would say the second week of August, right? Where we could go either direction. So we probably bounce within this range for next week. On the monthly though, where we came down on the monthly, remember we gapped down on the month. So in a sense, we have a gap to fill to the upside on that month. Now we have a lot of gaps to fill to the downside on SPY. Okay, we have a lot of gaps to fill to the downside, but this right here is a whole gap down that we need to fill. And you're talking about not bad a $6 gap on SPY, right? Now, for the month, if you look at the month, what we're seeing right here is, let's go to the higher time frame to begin with. So on a 3 month, we're bullish on a 3 month. Okay, so on the 3 month, we're bullish on a 3 month. Let me go over more. So on the 3 month, we're bullish on the 3 month. We already broke. We consolidated for 2 months, and I wouldn't say consolidated because these were big moves, right? But we broke on this right here, and this is a big move to the upside. We have momentum to the upside now. The crazy are the one thing is we hit a level that we were supposed to hit, which is not directly, but we hit resistance right here, so we can drop back down. Okay, but we were bullish, and in a sense we came up to the target or close to that target, right? So with that, we have this gap, or we're bullish on the 3 month. On the 6 month, we're also bullish on that 6 month. If you could see, we're bullish on the 6 month. So with the third month, with this month that's coming in, we gap down. So in a sense, where we gap down, we hit support level, which is right here. If you notice where we drop right here, if you look to the left, that's a support level. Now, if we come down some more, if we break this low, then we're going to come down to here, which is the bottom of this body of the candle, which is 616, followed by the low of this, which is 615. If we break here, then we're going to start falling. Okay, we're going to start falling to the point where we can come back down to the body of 550, 570, 587, or 590. Okay, but that's not gonna happen. It can happen within a month. I mean, we see crazy drop, but for this to happen, there has to be something crazy that happened within that month. Something as far as some kind of disease, something like some crazy stuff like COVID, right? Back in the day when when that happened, there has to be something crazy for the market to drop. Trump say something about tariffs, something for the market to drop that hard, and we could see come back down here at 587, right? That's if we break below here. But again, there has to be some crazy kind of news or event for that to happen. Now, in a sense, what we're seeing right now, we're seeing SPY come down to test support. So in a sense, we started off dropping first. So we created this drop to come back up to the upside to test high. Now, if we continue down, again, we could continue down and come lower. But right now, if we break above here, we can come back up here to the top. Okay. So those are stuff that you have to pay attention to. Now, on the weekly, like I said, we can consolidate within this week and then just fill that gap right within this range right here. Okay, so we have to pay attention to that next week, but there's sectors that are bearish right now. Okay, and I'm gonna go over some of those. I'm not gonna go over the sectors. I'm gonna go over the three plays that I think are gonna be good for this week. Last week I called out some plays. All of those plays were great as far as I called out GLD to the downside, which GLD did great. Was it yet last week? Let's see. I don't think it was last week, guys. Let's see. GLD. Yeah, it was last week. I called GLD last week to the downside, and I said if GLD broke the week, if GLD broke the week, then we're gonna come down and test right down here. First target was right here, followed by right here, and we came down and hit target down here. So GLD did what it was supposed to do last week for me, and it came down and test right. It came close to 300. Did it hit 300? 382 cents. I mean, okay, forgive me if it didn't go to 300 exactly, right? But it came down to 300, bounce off of 300, a psych level, then we're bouncing back up. Now, how gold is looking or how GLD is looking, right now we're consolidating within an area, okay? So we can consolidate again for the time being, and bounce around here. But in a sense, GLD is setting up for another opportunity to the upside. So we might gap up tomorrow. If we gap up tomorrow, that means we're gapping down on SPY. I don't see SPY gapping down. Gold is already dropping to the downside right now. So gold is dropping to the downside right now. But what I would like to see is, because right here, this is gold right now. So gold is dropping to the downside. Gold is coming down. It already tests VWAP. So by the time we open tomorrow morning, we might come up and break and continue up. This is a nice area as far as a bounce to go back up. It bounced off of VWAP. So I'm expecting some kind of move to the upside for gold. And if that's the case, then GLD will be a good play. And that's a daily play, okay? That's like GLD will be a good play for, that's not a day because this is on a weekly. So this will be a good play as well. So GLD to the upside, if we break the high of this week, this is a perfect hammerhead candle right here. So a break of this, and then we could take GLD back to the upside with first target being 311 or 312, followed by to the top again right up here, right? So that's going to be the target for GLD if we break. Now we want to see GLD come down first. We want it to come down first, gap down first, and then break right here. That's what I would like to see. And then we say, all right, because we came down, then we break. I would like to see it actually come down to the body at 306 and then bounce from the body, find support right here, and then break right here. So probably tomorrow come down here, break right here, and then we continue up. If not, if we break, then good. We're still going to the upside, right? So that's on GLD. So that's what I'm seeing as far as gold. Typically, if gold is going up, the market should be going down because what they do is they take money from the markets and put it in commodities at the same time. Gold is a safe haven as far as for that, right? So with that said, I am looking at Adobe. Adobe has a great setup on the month right now. Adobe had a great setup on the week last week. I just missed it because I had so much going on. But this was an amazing trade to the downside, and I completely missed it. Completely missed it. I can't even tell you guys that I traded this, but this was an amazing opportunity right here. So, with that said, Adobe is going back to the downside. If Adobe breaks the 3 month, then we're going to find ourselves down by 300. But I see ourselves going down to that level or testing right down here at the bottom of this candle right here. And if we test down here and break, then we're coming down to 300. So a break of 332 and we're coming down to 300, right? So with that, we gap down a little bit on the month, so we might come up. I would like for this to close first, but even if we don't close, we should be pushing down. So look for Adobe. If Adobe breaks the week, then look for Adobe to come back down and test right at 335, 332 area, a break of the week. So look for that opportunity for this week, going into this week. I would like to see Adobe gap up first, create that gap up, and then a break below here. If it gap down first, I wouldn't take the trade. I don't like taking the trade, but because the simple fact that if we gap down first, we could go back up and then consolidate for a while, and that will kill the contract. So I like when we gap. I like when we go the opposite direction first, create some kind of resistance. Even if we come up here where we broke, where this was support level. So if we have find support levels, this was a support level right here. You have support, resistance right here. So if we come up here and find resistance here and then drop down and break right here, then yeah, that will be a good opportunity. So look for Adobe to the downside next week, right? We already break on the month, like I said, so this is a good opportunity for Adobe for the rest of the month to continue down on Adobe. And I think Adobe had bad earnings. No, Adobe did not have earnings yet. No, they didn't have earnings yet. All right. So with that said, the second one is going to be AVGO, right? AVGO just been going up and up and up, and I'm like, man, at some point, right? At some point, you gotta come down, right? At some point, you gotta come down, but you can't short something that keep on going up. You just don't do that, okay? When you see a reversal, when you see an opportunity to do it, then you could do it. But for the time being, no. So with what I'm seeing right now on AVGO, we have a divergence setup still, a bearish divergence setup on the daily, and on the weekly, we have kind of like a bearish divergence setup. But what I'm looking at on the weekly more than anything else is I'm looking for this break of the week. If we break on the weekly candle right here, then we're coming to the downside. Okay. Right now we're at resistance. We found, right? If you look at it, I said once we hit 300, right? 300 is a psych level. We went a little bit above 300 right at 307. So it found a level. So at 300, we're going to see some type of rejection, and we could come back down to this level and find support at this level where we bounce around for the longest. So at 350, at 250, right? But again, for it to drop all the way down to 250, it could take some type of news. We have earnings coming up in a few weeks, right? At the end of the week, earnings is coming up at the end of the week, I believe, right? At the end of the month, sorry, on the 28th of this month, we have earnings come in. So in a sense, we could find ourselves down by 250 if the earnings doesn't come in play. So that's where we could see AVGO come back down to here to find support here and then bounce off and continue up, right? Because we found 300. At 300, guys, you have to think about it. People that bought at 250 are bought at down here. So if you look, people that bought here, right? Resistance, resistance. If you look at it, we break above here and then come up here, sell off. As soon as we hit, people took profit at 250, drop back down. People probably buy up again, buy up again. We break above 250, we go up. People are gonna sell at 300. Whoever bought at 250 is gonna sell at 300. Some people are gonna sell at 300, right? So now that we sell at 300, we see that come back down. We find a level at 250, and then we probably find support here and continue up, okay? So just look for an opportunity on AVGO. If we break this low right here, that could be a good trade for this week. Okay. To the downside with targets. At that point, your targets are gonna be right here at 273, followed by, let me see on the month, because I saw something on the month as well. Yeah, on the month, we're right by resistance right here, and we already went up. So this is one of the things I wanted to talk about as well on AVGO. AVGO already went up. So we gapped down, but we went up right here, and then we test the body. Didn't test it exactly because we didn't close that gap exactly, okay? We're still a little bit away from that gap. So if we gap up tomorrow on an AVGO, come down for the rest of the week, so like Tuesday, Wednesday, we drop down, then that's where you could see that fall and that continuation down. But on the month, we have where we come up here, test that, and this could act as a resistance now, right? Remember, the body will act as support and resistance. So this can act as a resistance. Test up here, we reject off of that, continue down, and then just continue to fall. So that's where that could come in play. All right, so that's AVGO. My last one. What happened? It's not showing my screen. We're showing CNS news the whole time. Well, from when I'm seeing, I've seen this. Are you serious? Did you switch over to your chart? Yeah, I did. You're hearing me? Yeah, but this is what I see. Hold on, guys. So it's showing, isn't it? It's not showing. It's showing on my screen. Okay. Ask them. Guys, are you seeing my screen right now? Yeah, but it's the news. My wife is saying y'all seeing the news, but are you seeing my screen right now? Because I'm like I'm on my screen. Let me make sure. I am on my screen. I've been off of that. That's weird. Hold on. Hey. It wasn't? Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry right there. My wife just wanted to make sure that the it was showing. But either way, guys, you could tell I'm live. This is not no pre-recorded stuff, right? But either way, all right. So AVGO, my last one is gonna be BA. Okay. So BA is gonna be my last one. Now BA is the it's tricky on BA, right? Because if the market falls, BA is gonna fall. But BA in a sense is setting up for a bullish move to the upside, right? BA went up and hit close to the target at 250 up in this area right here. Um, but BA still got some moves to make, right? We pushed right here, but once we broke right here, the target for BA was up here. Okay, so the target for BA is up at 257. Now, if you take a look left, though, what happened? BA came up, and if you take a look left, we hit resistance where we hit right here, reject and come down. So BA is respecting areas that it already hit and rejected. Look left again. We hit right here, we fell. Look right here, we hit right here, we fell. So that's an area that when it come up to that area, it's gonna test it and it's gonna do some type of reaction. So yeah, BA fell right here for the month, but we're still bullish and we still need to come up to this area right here. If you look at the higher time frame, right? We're still in this little box right here, right? We're still in a little box. Um, here's my thing right here. We're still in a little box. It's okay. We're in a box, right? Not bad. Came up close, right? Came up close in this little thing right here. So we could bounce within this area as well. But I still think BA can go up, right? Because what I'm seeing on BA on a month is BA came down and test a support area, right? So we came down, test this support area. We have a lot of support in this area. If you look at right here, this is a lot of support area right here. Now this is in a monthly time frame, okay, guys? So I'm on a monthly time frame first. So I didn't even go to the lower time frame yet. So this is a monthly time frame. So then when you go to the weekly, all right, we drop down on the week. This is expected because what happens? Well, the whole market fell. And if SPY is gonna fall, that's why I'm like, man, BA is gonna fall with it. But BA just have a different setup, right? What I'm looking at with BA is that we had a resistance area right here, which we came down, right? We came back up, we broke above it, and now we came down as far as a retest, right? So we did a retest as far as on support. So with that retest, I'm expecting to go higher. Now, tomorrow, because this is a daily, tomorrow looks good for a play on tomorrow. Right now with BA, I think BA is down. Let me check the current price on BA. BA was down when I look at it. BA was down to like 219 or 218, which gives you an opportunity for BA to now BA is at 220, right? So 220. So in a sense, I love where BA is at right now. BA is at 220. So if BA opens up at 220 and we break above here, which this is a hammer, right? Not perfect hammer, but still, I wouldn't, not perfect hammer, but I would look at it as far as a reversal to the upside. I love candles like this because it gives me a reversal to the upside. Now, this is a short play. This is not like a big move. This is a little bit more of a short play for options, right? Because a break of this candle, then I know 225 is right there. We're going to 225 minimum, right? Which it's a far away from 240. So we know that we're going to hit 225, right? Which a $3 move is going to be a decent, I mean, decent profit depending on if you're using, definitely if you're using a 1 week contract, you're definitely going to get a decent profit out of that. So with tomorrow, BA is a good move. But I'm seeing where we came up here as far as resistance. And that's what a lot of people look for. A lot of traders look for, right? You look for that, like that bounce, and then you have the resistance or the support. You break below the support, you come back up, support turn resistance, and then it breaks down, and then you take that trade. So I'm looking at the same thing right here. We're looking for a break, which it broke out. Then we're doing a retest, which is right here. We did the retest, right? We break out, come up, retest. Now we're retesting. If we break here, right, we can go up. Now, doesn't necessarily mean that we break out, because a lot of people, they'll say, well, I'm looking for the break of this high to continue. If we just break test right here, they might not take the trade. Okay. But this is a retest to me. A break above here, definitely 225, and upwards closing this gap right here. I think BA could go up even more. Okay. But again, if the market falls, BA will fall. But remember, I showed you how SPY look, and how SPY look. SPY look like it can turn around and push up, or SPY can consolidate for next week. We're just gonna have to see what the market says tomorrow. Right now, with SPY, SPY is SPY up or down right now? I didn't look at SPY. I was looking at everything else. Right now, SPY is up $2, right? $2.27. So SPY right now is currently at 220, 623.95. SPY itself was a great, because SPY dropped so much, SPY would have been a call off the bat going into Monday. If you guys play like swing trades, SPY would have been a call off the bat going in on Monday. Um, I have a play that I gave my group, but I can't say that play because we're currently in that. I might give it to you guys next week. But if you want to know the play, I put it in the VIP chat inside um, my Discord. Again, the link is in the bio. Guys, that's my 3 plays for the week. I think I gave you 4. I actually throw in GLD, which is a great setup as well. So GLD, Adobe, BA, and AVGO. All right. So with that said, guys, not financial advice, but we've been on a roll so far. So make sure that when you take your trades, go over the video if you have to. Look where I say entries are supposed to be. Look what I say the setups are supposed to be. Also, if you like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, but also let YouTube know by leaving a comment. Let YouTube know that you find the information valuable. Till then, guys, I'll see you guys next week on Sunday Signal. Trade safe, and y'all have a great week.